My name is DJ Infantry, and I am legally blind. My passion for the outdoors has taken me to some amazing places, and I have done some incredible things, all with one mission in mind: to inspire you to get outdoors. Welcome to Infantry Outdoors. Hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of Infantry Outdoors. Yours truly, your favorite disabled DJ. I'm the Infantry, back in the kitchen again. You might be wondering yourself, why are we in the kitchen? Infantry, it's an outdoors program. Well, you know, in harvest time, it's that time of the year where we go into our garden and we pick all of those wonderful blessings that the Lord has given to us. Well, today we're going to take some of those blessings and turn them into something to eat, something to store, something you can have long term. Well, you can guess by the thumbnail what we're talking about today. I have a huge pot of jalapenos. So today we're going to make Cowboy Candy or candied jalapenos. It's a very simple recipe to do, very easy. This is going to be for a 5-pound recipe of jalapenos. But before we get into today's recipe, remember that today's episode is sponsored by our friends at Silver Connections Group and of course our friends at Water Purification Products. Check out both businesses linked down below, and remember that if you use promo code Infantry with either business, you'll unlock additional savings. So thanks to our sponsors for making these programs happen. So guys, 5 pounds of jalapenos, real simple, easy recipe to do. You can do at home. You do want to be careful because we are using hot peppers, so just be aware that you might want to ventilate the house. You might want to wear gloves if you're sensitive to those kinds of things. So what we're going to be doing is taking the 5 pounds of jalapenos, chopping them down, essentially boiling them in sugar and turning them into a candy. So let's get started. Like I said, I have 5 pounds of jalapenos that are washed and cleaned. We're going to get into chopping them. Now, I'm not going to chop them by hand. I'm going to use this handy dandy food chopper that I bought. But we do need to cut the ends off. So let's do that and we'll see you here in a second. Okay, so all you're going to do is take your jalapeno and just cut the end off. That's it. Put it to the side. All right guys, so 5 pounds, all with the ends cut off. That's all you got to do. Now the next thing we're going to do is start chopping them. Now for me, I've got my handy dandy chopper here. So being that this part's going to get a little loud, we'll go ahead and time lapse this part as well. But it is important to remember that when you guys are cooking with hot peppers, especially if you're sensitive, wear gloves, don't touch your face and eyes, and wash your hands with soap repeatedly. If you do this, it'll help a little bit with the risk of getting it in your skin, in your eyes, or anything like that. Also, if you do feel any type of burning on your skin, on your hands, that's a note that you should wear gloves. Me, I'm kind of used to it, so I'll be all right, I'll keep on going. But let's get these peppers chopped up, enjoy the time lapse, and be sure to give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you're notified each and every time we put out a video here on Infantry Outdoors. And don't forget to check out our website at infantryoutdoors.com. Let's get into chopping. 1, we gonna go 2, and we gonna go 1, 2. Okay everybody, so we got 5 pounds of jalapenos all chopped up into rings. We're gonna keep the seeds and everything with it. Now it's time to make our sugar syrup. Very simple, very easy recipe to do. All you're gonna need is some apple cider vinegar. You're actually gonna need 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Take our 2 cups, into the pot it goes. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna add to our vinegar is sugar, and we are gonna add quite a bit of sugar, 6 cups of sugar to be exact. So, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now our next ingredient going into the pot will be celery seed. And for this we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon. I have a 1/4 teaspoon measuring cup, so we're going to add 2 of these. There's 1. There's 2. Our next ingredient is going to be turmeric. And for this again is going to be 1/2 of a teaspoon. 1, 2. Our third ingredient is going to be cayenne pepper. For this we're going to add 1 teaspoon. 4 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for our next ingredient, fresh garlic. We're going to use our garlic press. And went to 5 cloves of fresh garlic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a little stir and kind of start moving things around here. And then we're going to add heat to this and bring it to a boil. I'm going to start doing now. And while this is going, guys, I also want to note that on the side here I also have jars that have been hot and sterilized, as well as lids that we're going to be canning this once we're done making it. Canning it is a way to preserve anything that you want to do, fruits, vegetables, things like that, to store on the shelf for long periods of time. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be canning up what we make so that we can have some now and we can have some all through fall and winter. All right, so after your 5 minutes of hard boil, turning the heat down, and we're going to add our jalapenos. Now this part you want to be very careful because that is liquid magma sugar and you don't want to get burnt. So I'm going to use a spoon to start putting these in because I don't want to get burned. Ooh. And once I cover the bottom, I'll dump them in. And I'm adding in everything, jalapenos, seeds. Okay. Now we're going to bring this back up to a boil. Make sure everybody gets covered in the juice as best you can. And we're going to cook these down for a while.
want to get everybody in the juice, bring it back up to a boil, and then reduce to a simmer. And then we're going to simmer these, and we don't want to cook these too much because we still want them to be crispy, but we do want to cook them down. Okay, so we get that boil going. And guys, this is a time while this is going, I would advise you to get your jars and your lids prepped and ready so that once this is done, we can start jarring our jalapenos. So a good idea is to have it like I did, have it prepped and ready ahead of time so that you're ready to go when your jalapenos are ready. Okay, let's see, are we boiling it? Not quite yet. All right guys, so this stage, our Cowboy Candy is done cooking. It's been on for about 15-20 minutes, 2 to 5 pounds. You want to cook it till some of that color comes out, but you still want to leave the crispiness of the jalapeno. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move over to our next station, which is putting them into jars, canning them, and getting them ready to seal up. Stay tuned. It's time to can our Cowboy Candy. I've got our jars here. We're using 1/2 pint jars today. They're sterilized, they've been boiled, they're ready to go. If you guys are going to do canning, get you one of these handy dandy funnels. They are really great. It fits right inside of the jar and you don't make a mess on the lip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use our slotted spoon because at this point we don't want the liquid, we only want the jalapenos. So we're going to scoop out our jalapenos, let as much of the juice come off as we can, because again we don't want the juice just yet. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, and we're going to want to leave a little bit of room for headspace, about a 1/2 inch or so. Go ahead and pack your jars down as best you can. A little bit more. Okay, pack it in our jar. Let's see. That's good. Move on to the next one. Okie dokie, guys. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit extra. If you end up with a little bit extra, don't worry, that's the first jar you get to eat. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this back to the heat and boil it for a few minutes. We're gonna bring that pot back to a hard boil, let it boil for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna add the liquid to our jars and we'll start canning. But while that's going, we're gonna take time, take a wet paper towel and clean up our jars. When you're canning, it is uberly important that you have clean jars, especially the clean surface where the lid is going to touch the jar. So while that's getting ready to boil, we'll go ahead, wipe up, clean up, and start doing that process. Taking a clean wet paper towel, go around your edges of your jars, making sure there's nothing on there. This stuff is super sticky because it is a candy, so we're in our final stages of making our Cowboy Candy. Now we have put our mix back on the boil, hard boiled for 6 minutes to let it reduce. Now we're going to take our ladle and we're going to add it to our jars. Now when you add it to the jars, you're going to add it right to this rim, right to the full point. So be very, very, very careful with this, guys. This is boiling candy, boiling sugar. So you don't want to get burned. Okay. The very next thing that we're going to do, we're going to take a little stick. We're going to go around, we're going to poke, make sure that there's no air. Because in canning, air is not your friend. Alright guys, there we have it. There's our Cowboy Candy. The next thing to do, yet again, we're going to take our paper towel. And we're going to clean every one of these edges. Last thing to do is put on our lids, which we've had sitting and sterilizing in hot water. I have a feeling that's like 2 of them, because of this. All right. The way that you want to put your bands on when you're getting ready to can is you're going to put it on there, and you're going to twist, 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 and when the jar starts spinning, that's tight enough. Same thing on all of these. Put your band on. Twist, twist, twist. When the jar starts spinning, tight enough. So the last and final stage of this, guys, is just to give it a water bath can. I'll take you over to here and show you how it's done. It's a submersion canning, very easy. You can do it with a pot full of water. You don't need any special tools or anything. You want to boil them for at least 10 to 15 minutes, depending on where you live in your altitude. I always go 15 minutes. It doesn't hurt to go longer. So we're going to get these in the water bath, and we'll see you in just a moment. Okay, here we go. All 5 cans are in. They are at least 1 inch submerged under the water. You guys got to do that. That's very important. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to boil these. Once it hits a boiling point, we're going to let it boil for 15 minutes. So we've got all of the jars in there. They're all sealed. They're all submerged. And now it's just a matter of waiting for water to boil. All right, everybody. Taking them out of the canner. The next thing is just to put them on the counter, let them cool. Now, you may be asking yourself, Infantry, well, when I'm done, I have this pot of all this juice left over. Well, what do we do with that? Well, we jar it up and we're gonna can it as well. This stuff is great for ribs, barbecues, things like that. You can glaze your chicken with it. It makes a really good sauce. And all that time and effort that we've spent making this today, you sure don't wanna pour this down the drain. This is liquid gold. So jar it up, put it in your canner, can it. It'll be good for years to come. So yeah, there it is, guys. Candied jalapeno, aka Cowboy Candies. The only thing left to do with these now is to put them on the shelf, let them sit for at least 2 weeks, 4 weeks before you open them and enjoy them. That way they have proper time for all of those flavors to lock in and really make a great Cowboy Candy. So give it a minimum of 2 weeks, at least 4 if you can help it, before you open your first jar and enjoy your taste of Cowboy Candy. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Become part of the Outdoors family here on Infantry Outdoors. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time we put out a video, post, or anything like that. Be sure to check out our website, infantryoutdoors.com. for everything outdoors, all of our products, services, everything that we offer, photo galleries, and so much more. So with that said, guys, everything for this project will be linked down in the description below. Be sure to use our links to purchase your stuff through Amazon because it helps the program out. And if you'd like to help out our program, please consider donating today via PayPal. Go to paypal.me/Infantry Outdoors. Send your donations. All of our donors and sponsors are acknowledged in all of our upcoming live streams, videos, and everything that we do. So thank you in advance for your support. Well, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about this or anything Infantry Outdoors related, write to us at infantry@infantryoutdoors.com. That's all I've got for you guys today, so I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Making Cowboy Candy at Home. Have a great day, everybody, and until the next time, I hope that this and all of my adventures inspires you to get outdoors. Have an amazing day, everybody.